Hi, it's Twinkle, and today I'm going to read a few books to you, okay? I brought down a huge stack of books. They're on the chair. I'm in our living room, and in the coming weeks, I'd like to get through every single book in the kids' library. I thought that would be super cool. And this is a long one, Bartholomew and the Oobleck. It's a Dr. Seuss, and it's super good, right? We also have Clarice Bean, that's me. I love the illustrations in this book and the whole concept of all these unique individuals. So I thought that was a good place to start. There's so many wonderful books. And the beauty of a book, you see behind me, is that each one of these is a different world. Right? You crack it open and it's a whole nother universe. It's just amazing. I think books are one of the finest achievements of mankind, honestly. And we just keep making them. It's just great. So, and this is a good fairy tale treasury. There's tons of them out there, but I love the old fairy tales too. When I was growing up, I read all the Greek myths, all the ancient myths, any myth or a story from anywhere. I was so fascinated with it. So I grew up reading science fiction and horror, and sci-fi and fantasy is my favorite thing when I was a kid. And I still love it. And I include mythology in that department. So I think we should start with Clarice Bean. This is a really cool book. Now my brother is going to set me up with multi-camera shoot for the future, but for right now I'm going to read and then I'll show you the picture, okay? Just like we're in a room together. All right? Now this is a really cool book. I'll give you the Clarice Bean. Here's the back. You can see all this cool stuff. Okay. Clarice Bean, That's Me, by Lauren Child. I know lots of people, most of them in my family. Some of them live in our house, and some of them just visit. We are always raising a ruckus, but that's the way we mostly like it. There's all her family. We have Chirp, Grandma's canary. Granddad's canary. We have Granddad asleep as usual. And Cement, our dog. His name is Cement. Me, Clarice Bean. My younger brother, mine all Cricket. My cousin Yola. Mr. Gilbert, our plumber. My older brother, Kurt. Mom, wondering where she's left her purse. Dad, on the phone. Sometimes I think I need some peace and quiet. Hard to find in our house. My older sister, Marcy. I don't know who this is. Oh, you can't see the picture. Okay. My cousin Noah. Uncle Ted. It's probably backwards because I'm looking at the screen, but I'll get better as time goes on. Okay? This story is for Pat. We met when I was 7, and she has been feeding me chocolate brownies ever since. She is also a very good friend. This is for her friend Pat. A special thank you to Emily, who is, of course, the bee's knees. Meinl is a bug. And there's the note. Eggs, milk, bread, celery, chocolate. Thank you to the chick, Caroline Valentine. This is all, when you write a book, you thank all the people that had something to do with it. This is me, Clarice Bean. I don't have a watch, so I've drawn one on my arm in felt tip. I like peace and quiet, but I don't get much in my room. I'm always busy rushing around. My room is small, so I have to squash everything in. I like to have lots of things, just in case. I have this younger brother, Meinl Cricket. We have to share, so I have drawn a line down the middle. If he puts one toe over my side, he is sorry. There's their room and the line she has drawn, right? Meinl Cricket likes to hang upside down until he turns a funny color. Then he sort of wriggles around like a maggot. Sometimes I say, I haven't got time for all your nonsense. And he says, twit. And I say, twit and a half. And he says, twit with carrots in your ears. And then I flick his nose with my ruler. And he says, Mom! Is this really in this really whiny brother way? And Mom says, no flicking noses with rulers. And I say, what do you flick noses with then? And she says, celery. And I say, we don't have any. And she says, no flicking noses then. My sister Marcy has a room all to herself, so she has peace and quiet whenever she wants. Marcy likes to wear makeup and read about boys. Whenever I have time on my hands, I peek around the door and try to make her notice me. She says, go away, and I say, why? Because I don't want to talk to you. Why? Because you are very irritating. Why? Because you are a little brat. Why? You better get out of my room before I count to 10, and I don't need to ask why. This is Marcy. Looks like she's stretching. This is all the questions. Do boys give you the dreamy eye? Are you a flirt? Have you ever kissed a boy? Do you love gossip? Is your mom your best pal? Fave fellas, are you my dream date? A bunch of silliness. Get the look. She's reading fashion magazines. My older brother, Kurt, is usually in his room with his door shut. He doesn't talk much, but he wears t-shirts with writing on them. They say, shut up and go away. Mom says he's at that difficult age. Dad says he should try being 44. Mom says it's not easy being a teenager. Dad says it's no picnic being the father of one, and it would help if he would stop grunting. Mom says he's in the dark tunnel of adolescence, but usually he's in his room. And his sign on his door says, no entry, nuclear waste. Now, I have been a teenager, and this is very accurate. Kurt says, no one understands me. Happy about nothing. Kurt says he wants to be left alone. Lucky for him, he has a room all to himself that smells of socks. And his t-shirt says, bored beyond belief. Dad has it made. When he wants to be left alone, he goes to work. I'm going bananas here, Bernard. I can't talk now. I've got another call coming through. This thing's going down faster than a sinking souffle. He has a nice marbly office. It's wall-to-wall windows and office equipment. He has a swiveling chair and a desk the size of a bed. It's full of important business, and you can only get to talk to him if Miss Eglinton buzzes you through. When Dad wants some peace and quiet, Miss Eglinton says, I'm afraid he's in a meeting, i.e. buzz off. Really, he's eating Rocky Road ice cream and listening to Frank Sinatra on the stereo. You're a dum-de-dum-de-dum Waldorf salad. Or however that goes. Probably is not correct. Granddad spends all his time having peace and quiet. He is most often asleep in a chair with a cat on his head. My brother Meinl and I like to jump on him and snip his mustache with Mom's nail scissors. Yesterday he poured a carton of soup on his cornflakes. He said, I think this milk's bad. It looks a bit lumpy. I said, it's pea soup, Granddad. Sometimes Granddad and I play cards. Granddad's eyesight is on the blink, so normally I win. He says, is that a jack of hearts? And I say, no, it's a 3 of spades, Granddad. These kids are something, huh? When Mom wants some peace and quiet, she balances on one leg in her bedroom or listens to whales singing in the tub. I don't think the whales are singing in the tub. She's in the tub listening to the whales singing. Sometimes she has candles around the edges that smell. Other times she plays one of her Learn a Foreign Language in 14 Days tapes. I was trying that. You know, I learned Japanese and Russian and French. I've forgotten them all. But it's fun to learn languages. It's good for your brain. She's learning Mandarin at the moment. So far she can say, I've spilt cobbler on my cardigan, and there's a spider hiding in my hotel room. She likes speaking in other languages. It makes her feel like she is on vacation. Sometimes she'll say, Tag detrat hier alles samen, which means I've had it up to here with all of you in Danish. Sometimes I say, Mom, do you ever get bored? And she says, if only I had the time. Is this working where I hold it up like this? I'm trying. I hope you can hear me all right. When I get a bee in my bonnet and Mom needs some peace and quiet, she says, go and run around in the yard. This usually does the trick. Sometimes I chuck potatoes over the neighbor's wall. These kids are so bad. Because I might want to be an acrobat, I have to keep nimble and flexible. I do this by scrunching into the laundry basket. Getting out is the tricky part. I do balancing and smiling in tights. That's a very important part of acrobatics. There's no peace and quiet in the yard because there's this boy who lives next door. He likes to call over the wall. He says, what are you doing? Can I play? I know you can hear me. Granddad calls him Shouting Boy, but his name is Robert Granger. He always wants to know what I'm up to, and he always wants to do what I'm doing, which is normally twirling until I fall over. Robert Granger doesn't have any ideas of his own except copying me. So I go indoors to do handstands quietly on my side of the room. Then Meinl starts playing football on my bed. He says he does it accidentally. I say, more like accidentally on purpose. I get angry, so I accidentally chuck his blanket out the window. It lands on the dog next door, and Dad gets in a fight with the neighbors. Dad says, right now you are not the flavor of the month, young lady. Meinl is grinning like a smug twit, so I dumped a bowl of spaghetti on his head. Don't get any ideas. I am in big trouble. Mom says I should try to think before I act, and she's right. If I'd thought about it, I would have put tapioca down his shorts. Oh, Clarice. I am in such big trouble that I get sent to my room for 3 whole hours alone. I love it. Finally, some peace and quiet. The only time my family is quiet at the same time is when we sit down to watch our favorite show, Martians in the Kitchen. Uncle Ted eating again. The rest of the time it is nonstop noise, but that's the way we mostly like it. Marcy painting her nails. Kurt smiling. Meinl Cricket not talking. Noah. Me, Clarice Bean. Cement. Granddad awake. Fuzzy, our cat. I don't know who this is. Mom's purse. She found it. Our TV. And the Martian. Did you know Lauren Child is a UNESCO Artist for Peace? Don't forget to read the other exceptionally good Clarice Bean picture books. If you have an older brother who grunts a lot, a sister who keeps telling you to go away, then they might be keenish on the utterly entertaining Clarice Bean novels. There is something for everyone, Buster. I like it. I like this girl. I like her art. I think it's pretty cool, right? So, book number 1. I know it's backwards right now to me in the thing, but hopefully I'll figure out how to turn it around. Otherwise, use your imagination.